Hey everybody, what's up? Looks like we got some new champs, so I thought we would hop in and take a look at them together. I have not checked them out yet, so it'll kind of be a first look. We'll be taking our first look together, I guess, unless you've already looked at them. Let's start in the orcs. Teyla Gorman, she's a new legendary magic. I'm assuming it's her. Teyla Gorman. All right, looks pretty cool. New support champ. Almost 22,000 base HP, over 1,200 base defense. Pretty good base stats. She's got a buff strip on the first skill, and she scales off HP. Nice. Maybe you can get a little bit of damage out of her then. Looks like she scales 100% off HP. That's great. Buff strip on the first skill, HP burn, and continuous heals on a 4-turn cooldown. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then an AoE, 85% chance of placing a leech, and 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. So AoE, leech, and heal reduction. Okay, pretty cool. I think she's kind of neat because she's a support champ and her damage scales off HP. I mean, it could be like Vrask, where he scales off HP, but it doesn't really matter. He still doesn't do a ton of damage, but could be interesting. I'll be interested to see what she's going to be used for. She seems like she'd be really good in the potion dungeons. She's got the buff strip and the heal reduction. She's got some utility there. I don't think the HP burn is enough to make her good in clan boss or anything like that, but there's probably some fun stuff you can do with her. Maybe some niche arena comps or something. Next, my nose got so itchy. What is the deal? Like my nose knows when I push record. My nose knows. Alright, Growhack the Bloodied. He's a new legendary. I guess it's this guy. Ooh. I dig that. That looks cool. Alright, new attack champ. Almost 1,500 attack, over 1,000 defense. Alright, let's see what he's got going on. Attacks 2 times at random. Okay, I don't know if I love a random first skill, but it is what it is. It can be okay. With a speed break, so 2 times at random with a speed break. So on bosses, this will be nice. Maybe a little bit of Fire Knight, double hitter on the first skill with a slow. Slow is really nice to have in Fire Knight once the shield's down, or any boss really that you can put a slow on. It's nice. Second skill, attacks all enemies, fills this champion's turn meter. Fills this champion's turn meter by 20% for each enemy under decreased speed. Okay. So paired with someone else that maybe goes before him that has AoE speed decrease, depending on the situation, he's basically going to give himself another turn. And then attacks one enemy and steals the target's max turn meter. Steals the target's max turn meter. I guess that means he full resets the enemy and gets himself another turn. I guess that's what that means. It's an interesting way to word it, but yeah, it sounds like it's a full attack bar reset and he gives himself a whole extra turn. There might be some spider. I don't know what kind of damage he does, and I don't know if it's going to translate to the deeper levels of the dungeon, but mid-game spider, he seems like he could be decent. Full turn meter reset and gives himself another turn, which means he's going to help his cooldown. He's got an AoE that gives himself another turn if there's already slows put up, and then he puts up slows. And then speed lead in the dungeons. So yeah, definitely seems like he's a dungeon champ. Could be useful in arena too, though. I mean, he could be, yeah, he could be good. I'd like to see how he gets used. Looks really cool too. Yeah, I dig it. Pretty cool champ. All right, let's move on to the high elves. Basilius. Basilius is a new force champ, so you look new. Wow, you look real familiar. I mean, come on. It's Royal Huntsman with green. Come on, guys. Whatever. New attack champ. Over 1,500 attack, over 1,000 defense. Let's see. He's got a buff strip on the first skill. If they have no buffs, he puts a block buffs. Okay, that's nice. Second skill, attacks one enemy 3 times, ignores shield and block damage, as well as 50% of the target's defense. It's a great skill. I could be wrong here. I just feel like this is too exclusive to legendaries. I think there's another champ that might do it that's not a legendary. There may be more. I may be totally off base here. But I feel like it's nice to see a little bit more block damage and ignore shield and stuff like that. But I feel like it's so exclusive to legendaries. I feel like it's so hard to counter that stuff if you don't have legendaries. Which to some extent is reasonable. But whatever. Again, I may be way off. Maybe it's still a little early in the morning, so maybe I'm just not remembering correctly. It's a cool skill regardless, though. It's a 3-hitter, ignores shield and block damage, and ignores 50% of the defense. So there's a lot of potential. I mean, you put a Savage set on him, he's ignoring most of the defense, and he's ignoring shield and block damage. It could be great. I don't know what the multiplier's like. I have to assume it's high. Third skill, attacks all enemies, places a stun, decreases each target's turn meter if he doesn't place a stun. Okay, so AoE stun or AoE turn meter reduction if he doesn't get the stun off. That could be pretty handy in Spider. That could be useful in Arena. That could be useful in Spider. That could be useful on Trash Waves. Pretty widespread utility, I would say. He's got nice stuff. He's got the buff strip and the block buffs on the first skill, heavy damage in the second skill, AoE crowd control in the third skill. Pretty useful champ all around, I gotta say. It's a shame they couldn't try a little harder on his skin, but it is what it is. Alright, moving on to the... No, I forgot another high elf, my bad. It's a void. It's a rare void, so I guess it's her. Alright. Isn't she a reskin too? Just with different colors? What are they doing, man? I used to brag on them so hard for their artwork and stuff. It's like, no, they're not creating anything anymore. Attacks one enemy, has 20% chance of placing decreased attack. Alright, so we've got an attack break on the first skill. Removes all debuffs from all allies. Then places continuous heals. Okay, full cleanse with continuous heals. You can get it down to a 3-turn cooldown. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. There's not a wide array of full team cleanses right now. So full team cleanse and continuous heals, and you can get it to a 3-turn cooldown. Not bad. Not bad. And then revives an ally with 30% HP and fills their turn meter by 30%. So we've got a revive, we've got full cleanse with heals, and we've got an attack break. Seems like she's going to be great dungeon support. Closer to budget, she is a rare, but she is also a void. So she's still going to be pretty limited to the free-to-play crowd, but getting closer to having good budget options for dungeons. Probably would have liked to have seen her not be void, honestly. I think the free-to-play crowd needs more of this at their disposal that's not void. So, cool champ, good budget option for support. Little unfortunate she's a void, if I'm going to be honest, but cool champ nevertheless. All right, now moving on to the Barbs. Elder Skarg, he is the Force champ. I guess it's this guy. Okay, he looks cool. I don't think that's a reskin, is it? I don't remember seeing this skin before. Looks really cool. Attack champ, 1630 base attack. Holy cow. 105 base speed. Attacks one enemy, places speed buff for 2 turns, place speed buff on himself for 2 turns if he crits. If he doesn't crit, he puts a crit rate buff on himself. Okay. Cool skill. I think the fight's going to have to go on a little bit longer for this to be relevant. You're not going to start a fight off with his first skill. So the fact that he crit rate buffs himself here doesn't really do you much good, because you're not starting a fight off with this. And generally, you're starting a fight off, you want to get the most damage possible. So you're going to have to gear him for crit so that whatever his other skills are will crit. Because you're not going to start a fight off with his first skill. He's an attack champ. He's going to be relatively squishy in the grand scheme of things. So you're not going to come into a fight, hope he doesn't crit so that he'll crit rate buff himself. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make a lot of sense, if I'm going to be honest, unless you're talking about a fight that's going on for a while. But even still, doesn't make a ton of sense. But whatever. Second skill, attacks one enemy 3 times, places an extra hit for each buff or debuff on the target. Can place up to 3 extra hits. Places HP burn for 2 turns and true fear for 1 turn if this attack places all 3 hits. So I guess both of those debuffs are reliant on him placing 3 hits. So places extra hit for each buff or debuff on the target. Up to 3. Okay. I see why they had to limit that. That could get way out of hand. He could be, you know, he could be swinging at somebody 10 times. Okay, cool skill. They're implementing one of the newer debuffs, True Fear. You can get an HP burn. Okay, I'm with it. Last skill, places a 60% increased defense buff on this champion for 3 turns. Okay. Places a fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Places true fear for 1 turn on targets under block damage. Places 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns on targets under shield buffs. These debuffs cannot be resisted. So it seems like they're trying to throw a Raj card counter in the mix here. For people that can't outspeed the Raj card comps. It seems like they're trying to mix that up a little bit here. Can't be resisted. If they've got block damage, you put True Fear. If they've got shield, you put Speed Break. Interesting. And yeah, it seems like they're trying to mix up that Raj card situation in the arena. It's still going to be very limited because he's a legendary, but you know, maybe that's not completely unreasonable. Interesting kit. And then receives 15 less damage from legendary champions. Okay, I have never seen the rarity of a champion be the condition of a passive. That's kind of funky. And then crit rate in the arena. So yeah, he's definitely supposed to be used in the arena. I think they made him to shake up the Rush card situation. Interesting champ. There's a lot There's no attack there. I would love to know what his multipliers are, what kind of damage output he's going to have, because that base attack is through the roof. Interesting kit. I dig it. I'll be excited to see how. I'll be excited to see him in action in someone else's videos, because I'm sure I'm not pulling him anytime soon. But yeah, that's funky. All right, so we looked at Elder Skarg. Now we're looking at, what was that, Maeve? No, that's not her. I think it's her. Maeve. Guys, what are you doing? What is she? That's like her, right? It's Alika with blue accents. Guys, you put that art team to work. They're good at what they do. Let them do it. Stop putting out reskins, man. For real. For real, cut that out. What are y'all doing? Your art team's phenomenal. Let them create. Deadgummit. All right, epic attack champ. 1350 basically. Let's see what she's got. Looks like she's got a sleep on the first skill with a 50% chance of granting an extra turn if she places the sleep. Okay. Attacks one enemy, places a stun debuff on a target for 2 turns if the target is under a sleep buff. Okay. So here might be an example of a kit where you would be encouraged to start a battle off with the first skill. You attack someone, try to land the sleep, Then you stun him for 2 turns. 2 turns to be stunned, that's a long time to be stunned. That can be aggravating, especially if someone else on your team has a slow or something. Third skill, attacks one enemy. Enemies killed by the skill cannot be revived. Okay, so we've got another block revive champ here. She's probably not going to be that useful in the later stages of Ice Golem, which is generally what we all hope for when we get a block revive champ. The problem with taking her into Ice Golem in the later stages is that she's probably going to get killed, and she's probably just not going to have the damage output necessary to really deal with those minions, right? They have so much HP in the later stages. You're still going to kind of have a perfect storm of events, especially to have it on auto, to take her in and have her land this and get a kill with it. It is nice that it's her 3rd skill. That means the multiplier is going to be higher. The damage output is going to be higher. I still don't think she's going to really... I don't think this is going to be useful in Ice Golem. They're going to have to either address the mechanics of Ice Golem or create some champs that have block revive and skill sets that are going to translate well to the deeper levels of Ice Golem. So we'll see. Mid-game Ice Golem, sure. Mid and early, I think, yeah, she's going to be nice there. You know, you can get this down to a 3-turn cooldown that increases the likelihood she's going to land it and get the kill shot, especially if you're running her with attack buffs and defense breaks and things like that. But cool little kit all around. There's some interesting concept for crowd control built in, and then the block revive. Interesting little champ. We'll see how it translates. Head taker, Barb uncommon, magic. I guess that's her. I swear that is that Fireblade. Fireblade is not a Barb, I guess. She looks like Fireblade, if I'm not mistaken, with different colors. Attacks one enemy. 50 attacks one enemy with turn meter knockback. Okay, so maybe by 20%. I mean, she's an uncommon. I guess you can't expect much from her. We got a little turn meter knockback in an uncommon champ now. I mean, maybe that existed before, but so like early game dungeons, maybe it'll be useful. You know, whatever. She's an uncommon. Not expecting much out of her. Oh, we got one more Barb. Suai. Epic Void. Suai Firstborn, who looks just like her. Oh, no, they didn't even... I thought they changed the direction her hair was parted, but they didn't. All right, yeah. I gotta say, man, it's a shame that you guys aren't letting your art team create, because they really are fantastic. They really are fantastic. That's one of the great things about this game is the art, and the fact that you guys just keep recycling skins is... I don't want the whole video to be about that. I won't mention it again, but for real, come on. All right, anyway, attacks one enemy, places increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns if this attack kills an enemy. Places increased crit rate buff on this champ for 2 turns if this attack kills an enemy. See, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what this crit rate buff on the first skill is. I don't know why they're doing that. That's not helpful. You're not starting off fights with your first skill, ever. And it's a silly strategy to hope. You know what I mean? You're not going to come in and start a battle with a kill on your first skill. That's silly, man. She doesn't. You're going to have to gear her for crit rate anyway. It doesn't make any sense. And then block buffs. 2-turn block buff is nice. That could be nice in the potion dungeons, but the rest of that doesn't make any sense. Attacks one enemy. Attacks all enemies with a second hit if this attack is critical. See what I mean? Like, here she places a weaken and then attacks. Here she does something if she crits. You're not starting a battle off with the first skill to get the crit rate buff. What are you doing? Alright. This hit deals 60% of the damage inflicted from the first hit. This attack will always be a normal hit. Okay. If it's dealing 60% of the damage, it doesn't matter if it's a normal hit. It's dealing a set amount of the damage from the first hit. Right? Unless it means deals before it's mitigated. Maybe that's what it means. Cool skill. Lots of potential there. If she's set up properly, that could hit really hard. Could turn into really heavy AoE damage. It is cool. Attacks one enemy before attacking, has 50% chance of placing a weaken. So she's got a chance to place a weaken before she attacks. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Some little bit of like potion dungeon utility, I think. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with her. I don't think she's going to change the game at all. I don't know why I backed all the way out. All right, moving on to Undead. A new Epic Force champ. Who is new down here? It looks like Mausoleum. Who is it? Corpse Collector. Here you go. Oh, look, we got a yellow Gorg. Said I wouldn't mention it again. Attacks one enemy, 30% chance of placing a speed debuff for 2 turns. All right, so slow on the first skill. Second skill, places block debuffs on all allies for 1 turn. Also places crit rate buff and defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. You can get that down to a 3-turn cooldown. So 1 turn block debuffs. Okay, that's nice. It'd be super dope if it was 2, but take what we can get, right? Gives him some dragon utility. Got the crit rate and the defense. That's some nice stuff to have in dragon. Third skill, removes all debuffs from all allies, then heals all allies by 10% of this champion's max HP. Cool. Okay, he's got high base HP. That'll scale up. He's got good base speed too. So you can get some pretty good heal out of this, it seems like. And it's a full team, full cleanse. So he's got full team, full cleanse with heals and block debuffs with defense buff. Heals each ally by a further 10% if 1 or more debuffs are removed from that ally. Fills each ally's turn meter by 15% if 2 or more debuffs are removed. Okay, so full cleanse. They get 10% extra heals if they get cleansed at all. And if they had 2 or more debuffs, then they get turn meter bump. He's a great little support champ for sure. Really, really nice support champ. There's a lot of stuff in here. He's filling a lot of roles. He's got the slow to put on the bosses. He's got full cleanse with heals and turn meter boost potentially. And he's got block debuffs with crit rate and defense buff. Excellent little kit. Really, really nice champ. Really nice champ. Defiled Center. Wait, was that this one? Yeah, Defiled Center. He looks cool, but attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a defense debuff for 2 turns before attacking. Okay. You know I'm a big fan of defense break on the first skill. And he has an opportunity to put this up before he attacks. So that's pretty cool. If 5 or more enemies are alive, does the following attack instead. Attacks all enemies, places increased attack buff on himself for 2 turns before attacking. See, this is cool. This is pretty cool. So he's got first skill AoE if he's in spiders. And the minions are alive, obviously. Self-attack buff with first skill AoE. This is really interesting. This gives him utility. This gives him specific utility in multiple places. You can take him in Spider and use him for this, or you can take him in the other dungeons and use him for this. Or if there's not 5 minions alive, he'll do this and put a defense break on the Spider. That is very interesting. Very interesting skill mechanic. Attacks one enemy, then attacks all enemies, inflicting damage equal to 15% of their max HP. If the first hit kills an enemy, the second hit cannot be critical. That last part, I think, is what hurts this. Because you need to crit on that enemy max HP for it to really matter. So the fact that it can't crit is like, meh. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I misread. Deals damage equal to 15% of their max HP. That's why it can't crit, because it's just pure damage. Or maybe it has to get mitigated. See, I'm not sure how they're doing that. If it's pure damage and you're just doing 15% of their HP, like you're taking away 15% of their health bar, that's pretty nice. if it's damage that has to be mitigated, it's still going to be heavy damage. Interesting. I'll be interested to know how exactly that skill works. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that works. But you know, you're in Spider, you kill a minion with that skill, and then do 15% of the spider's health bar. Like, that could be pretty handy. And it's on it can be on a 3-turn cooldown. Third skill, attacks all enemies. Damage increases by 10% for each enemy alive, stacks up to 100%. So 200% damage here on a third skill, which means the multiplier is going to be decent. It's AoE, so it's going to be a little less. So he seems to be built to assist in Spider. That seems to be his purpose. I will be very interested to see how useful he actually ends up being. There seems to be a lot of potential here, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays. He's got really good base HP too for an attacker. Seems like he was built for spiders. We will find out. A new rare spirit, Ghoulish Ranger. Attacks one enemy, has a 35% chance of placing an accuracy debuff. If there's a decreased accuracy debuff, he places an extra hit. Okay. Puts a leech, single target leech, and 3 times at random HP burn. Okay, kind of funky. Kind of funky. Gives you an opportunity to place a few HP burns in Spider, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. I don't know if it's enough to give him a role in Spider, you know. But whatever. Fun enough, I guess. Why do I keep backing all the way out of that? All right, we got a couple new dwarves. Epic Void. That's a rare. Gala Long Braids. She looks familiar. No, she's different-ish. Whatever. I keep forgetting I said I wasn't going to mention it. All right, new Void Epic. Let's see what she's got here. She's an attack champ with really high base HP. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Ignores 30% of the target's defense. Places a shield buff on herself. The shield is equal to 20% of the damage inflicted. Alright, so a little bit of ignored defense on the first skill. Shield buffs herself. That's cool. Attacks one enemy. Ignores 50% of the target's defense when attacking under a shield buff. Heals this champion by 50% of the damage inflicted. Places shield buff on this champion equal to any surplus heal for 3 turns. Okay. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit ignores 25% of the target's defense. Grants an extra turn if this champion has full HP after using this skill. And then attack buff in all battles. So she's a champ that seems to be designed for longer fights. Her kit seems conducive to fights that are going to go on for a little bit. She's an interesting champ. Seems viable for long arena fights. She's an attack champ. She's going to be outputting good damage. She's got good sustain in her own kit, and she has good base HP. Her base defense is very low, but yeah, she's ignoring defense. She's going to have good damage output. She's got sustain in her kit. She's an interesting champ. I like it. I like it. I think she's interesting. I think she would be a fun champ to have. Seems conducive for long arena fights. Perforator. Rare Force. Where you at? Right here. Oh, thimblehead. I'll never call him by his name. He is thimblehead. All right. Rare attack champ. Decent enough. Ooh, that base speed though. Blech. Attacks one enemy. 30% chance of placing a poison debuff. Okay. Ignores 50% defense. Grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. All right. 35% chance of placing fear debuff on the target for 1 turn when this champ crits. So if he crits, he places fear. If he crits, he has a 35% chance of placing fear. And it's on a cooldown. What are you doing? Alright. Okay, there's going to be decent damage output on this skill. Poison. Yeah, okay, cool. Cool enough. I don't think there's much to go over there. Funky enough, interesting, I guess, but whatever. And then we got an Ogren. Rare Force Champ, where you at? Guess it's you. Ogren Jailer. He's an attack champ, 1300 base attack, 40% chance of a buff strip. Another 40% chance of a buff strip. Damage increases if the target has no buffs. Accuracy in dungeons. Yeah, I was going to say, he seems specifically for potion dungeons. Decent enough for potion dungeons, I reckon. Seems to be what he was designed for. Demon Spawn. Uncommon Spirit. You. Vile Spawn. What you got going on? Attack break on the first skill. Heals an ally by 10% of their max HP. Skilled up, that becomes a decent single target heal on a 3-turn cooldown. Maybe some earlier game utility. Yeah, she's a nice little uncommon, I would say, for the early game. Attack break is going to help out in your dungeons. Single target burst heal on a 3-turn cooldown. Not bad. Not bad. Early game dungeon utility for sure. Probably some campaign utility as well. And Dark Elf. A new Dark Elf common. Alright, let's see what we got here. Attacks one enemy. 15% chance of placing a poison. There you go. A kit where every turn she gets, she's going to place a poison. Potentially some very early game clan boss utility. There you go. Alright, well that's a look at the new champs. There's some interesting stuff going on. Some cool mechanics we haven't really seen before. That thing with that legendary Barb where he takes less damage from legendary champs is kind of interesting. I will be interested to see how some of these champs play out and how they get used. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed me looking at the new champs for the first time and talking about it. Let me know what you guys think about them down below and who you're excited for. If you've already pulled somebody, let me know. If you got any info on any of the champs I said that I was really interested in, I would love to hear it. And I think that's going to wrap it up. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Oh, and quick note, I'm gonna put it on the end card for this video, but I am holding a contest right now for it's an ice golem, kind of a meme competition, but you can actually win some money, and it's for the slowest, whoever can submit to me the slowest ice golem run. So you know, I go over all the rules and how to submit your entry and all that stuff in the video that I'm gonna link at the end of this video and in the description, but I'm going to stop accepting submissions on October 20th. So if anybody wants to get in on that, it could be kind of fun. It's kind of goofy, and you can win some money. So yeah, check out. And now I'll see you guys next time.